2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. It has been a beautiful reason and a way on the backside of the holidays and getting into 2020 and a new decade and a new Festivus run to be getting together with Purple Legends. This guy's a member of the Ring of Honor. He is out in Cleveland. He's a big deal as well, and he does books and good things for veterans, and he's here in Baltimore. He'll always be a Raven from being an original Raven. We welcome Earnest Byner back onto the program, doing good things during the holidays. But, man, I'm going through my Rolodex to get every person I can talk to about this Lamar Jackson thing, and I'm assuming that wherever you are down in Tennessee and living your life and doing your thing, people are probably asking you about Lamar Jackson. It feels like Michael Jordan's come to Baltimore, Ernest.
No question. I mean, I actually, I guess he put a picture out on Twitter or Instagram, either way, but I guess he was filling orders for his shirts, and had a bunch of, I guess, next day bags that he was sending these packages out of. You know, the Lamar Jackson craze is real, and it should be real. He's definitely earned it.
Well, you say he's real and it's here to stay. Couldn't find a lot of people to believe that, 15, 20 weeks ago, right? And John Harbaugh talked about revolution. Like, literally, that's the word he used was revolution. And in 14-2, you played the game a long time. You coached a long time. You ran the football. You've played this Mark Ingram role, with an organization. Tell me why this is working. I mean, and why someone like you, if you were on this staff, you would have bought into, we can do it this way. Even though nobody's ever done it this way, we can do it this way.
Well, the thing about Lamar is, and this is the first thing that you notice about it, he's a football player playing quarterback. He's not a quarterback that's running the ball. He's a guy that he can play different positions. If he was on defense, he probably could line up at a corner or slot or safety and be able to play the game at as higher level as he's playing right now. So, when you're looking at players and you're analyzing them, a lot of times I try to see them as in different positions. This guy knows how to play football. And the one thing that he has is the ability to assess himself and also to make himself better. So, I mean, the things that Lamar has is the things that we all wish we could have a team full of. But one of the things that he's doing is motivating an entire team to come together as one and drive further and further and further down the path toward perfection. He'll never be perfect. But this guy, I think he will always evolve. He will always try to make himself better.
Well, I mean, we're early on into this, and we've seen this incredible growth that the Ravens talked about, and maybe potential. And I think I ran into you more in Indianapolis, in the last 15 years than I've run into you in Cleveland or Baltimore because you were always out there scouting, coaching, looking for the next Earnest Byner, looking for the next Jamal Lewis, looking for the next whatever, right? Everybody's out there. What about him made him toxic to some organizations where they said, we're just not going with a running quarterback. We're not turning our team over like that. We're not going to do what's necessary personnel-wise to go all in, and that the Ravens saw this differently?
Well, I think, when you evaluate talent or you evaluate football players, I think, you can get lost sometimes by the numbers or sometimes the optics, how things don't look right. But the thing that always looked right with Lamar is his football playing ability. And also the thing that he has, and I think there's an air about him that's different. And I think Ozzie and the guys probably got a really good feel for him, through the interview process, through the workout process. And he had, and by seeing this and understanding that this guy had something in him that was a little bit different, that make him special, take him and the ability to take himself, to another level. So, I think Ozzie and them really just, that when you have that gut feeling, and when you see a guy and you know he can play football, and I think they probably saw him and probably saw that, hey, if it doesn't work at quarterback, this guy is special enough to be on our team in another capacity. It's not so. I guarantee you, they didn't just look at him as a quarterback, but they wanted him to be a quarterback first and foremost. But they looked at him and they saw that this kid has something special. And this is one of the other things. I'll stop after this.
No, you don't stop. No, keep going. Earnest Byner, keep going.
His change of direction Nestor. His change of direction. I'm sorry. His change of direction. I mean, his ability to accelerate, get in and out of cuts, his ability to feel things around him is unique, very unique. And that's one of the things, I mean, I can look at his film and slow it down and see the different body positions that he gets into. He gets into those positions, in and out of those positions, and we see it in other positions and in other ways. But this guy, he has the ability to, really get in and out of those breaks and be able to sell something that he doesn't want while he's trying to get somewhere where he does want. He's an amazing character. He's an amazing individual. He's an amazing talent, and I think that's what Ozzie and Eric, that's what they saw.
Earnest Byner joining us here in the Ravens Ring of Honor. Did it at a high level for a long, long time, and running the football and tucking the football and moving the football around. The notion that ball security, I mean, you're sort of famous for that. You've written a book about it. You lecture about it. You've lectured me about it. I remember when you were playing here 20 years ago, as I have my Art Modell picture over my shoulder as well. The notion that they could be this clean with the football as they've been this year, that just does not go hand in hand with the way that you want to run. The pistol, you're moving the ball around, you're pulling the ball in, pulling it out, only you and the running back. No, they did have a pretty nasty fumble, last week, a week and a half ago. But all of that being said, that's probably the hardest part, that if you're going to push the ball around that much on a wet day, the ball's going to wind up on the ground.
That's an amazing thing, too. Their ability to be able to adjust and be able to take whatever elements that come about and to be able to use it and still play the game at a fast pace. Not letting the weather dictate to them how the game is to be played. Everybody has to play in those conditions. But one of the things that's special about these guys is their ability to go into any game, and it doesn't matter what the conditions are, and make it work for them. And see, that's one of the things that I believe is really, really special about the entire team, is that they find a way to make things work. See, that's what good football players do. That's what talented teams do. That's what good coaches teach their guys and hold them accountable to, is their ability to adapt. One of the ways to be able to make everything work to the positive, not let it be anything that happens, whatever comes about, whatever comes out of those situations in the games, in practice, they're always learning, they're always developing. I think that's one of the things that make, John Harbaugh, his staff, Lamar, the rest of the team has made them special, this year. This is 14-2 is magical. It seems like everything, clicked. When I was with the Redskins, we went 14-2 that year, everything seemed like it was just made to happen the way it was. It was like somebody was writing a story. I think all of this year has been really magical for those guys, and I'm hoping that and actually looking for it to continue into the playoffs.
I bet people don't ask you too much about Ozzie, right? I mean, because he's sort of behind the scene. Maybe some people don't even realize how well you know Ozzie or how long you've known Ozzie or you being around it. But and he doesn't talk about himself, and nobody talks
He
about
does.
Ozzie, and he's kind
Yep.
of behind the scenes and out of the way now, and Eric's here. But the last draft pick for Ozzie, and for what this organization is and represents, to not only draft this kid, but then to go out and sign the kinds of players that you're going, not to say you're going to run Joe Flacco's offense and we're going to get those kind of players, but to be adaptive in this way for Ozzie, for Eric, for the whole organization, and more than that, EB, the real cherry on the top, the real reason they're a Super Bowl favorite right now isn't just Lamar. It's the things they've done in the last 10 weeks since Cleveland kicked their ass, where,
Right.
Josh Bynes, L.J. Ford, D'Amato Pekka, Marcus Peters, then signing Marcus. I mean, all of this stuff has happened since, it feels like Halloween, man, and these are huge parts of why they're successful, and it really does come back to leadership
It
and
does.
confidence in leadership and competence in leadership that's allowed this thing to happen, and they're really good at what they do in Owings Mills.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing that one of the things that you see is continuity. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of knee jerking. I think I've said this before on your show. One of the things about them, they have winning ways. They got one winning way for some reason, for a reason. They understand that there are ways that will cost you games, cost your lives, to tell you the truth. But the thing what's real is they understand that there is a consistency and there's a way of developing players, developing staff, developing coaches developing each other. There are ways that goes about. And I mean, one of the other things that I guarantee you walk around that organization and you see consistency all over the place. I mean, that's in PR with Kevin Burns. That's that's in scouting with Ozzie and DeCasa. I mean, you see people that, I mean, you go and you look at the front desk. Miss Val is still there. That's my girl. She's still there.
Val always has candy for me, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And seeing that when you see that type of consistency and you look around the league and you see other teams that are consistently in the playoffs, even if they have a down year, they don't knee jerk about it. They don't just make changes just to feel like they're doing. So that type of consistency is something that can teach a whole lot of people. First of all, teach within the organization, but a whole lot of people can look from outside in and see that, and they can get an understanding about what it takes to be a winner. That continuity is something that's really big.
Well, then there's the other part in other organizations where they would go to the owner or the general manager and say, we're going to take this running quarterback. We're going to turn our whole franchise upside down for this one player who's not even the number one player in the draft, right? I mean, we're going to take a chance on this. You're laughing because that just wouldn't work. I mean, I don't.
Right.
No one would.
Right.
Well, part of the problem of Lamar, and I guess the paradigm is, no one would have been willing to bet their career on him because most of these guys only get one chance to do this, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting.
Well, there's a courage that
for
comes with being
people.
in the Ravens, right? That you're going to keep your job, that you're competent.
Absolutely, they know that you. I mean, first of all, you got some type of track record. They have made decisions. And, obviously, I mean, everything doesn't work perfectly, but the reality is they have some competence that says that we have a feel, we have an understanding that this can work this way. Matter of fact, and they're probably looking at it from 5 or 6 different perspectives, and also understanding that, hey, we know that we have the support system that can assist this individual in what he's trying to achieve. We have the right type of mentality here that's going to help this man be the absolute best that he can be in the capacity that we want him to play in.
Earnest Byner, he once won the Nasty Nice Guy Award 22 years ago now, and is still here taking my phone calls from down in Tennessee, man. To see the Ravens do this at this point, I know you got some Browns in you, got some Redskins in you. Certainly spent a nice chunk of your time here, as part of the championship run and being a part of that team in the front office as well and coaching for years. This Raven run and the special part of being 14-2. Tell me about these couple weeks off and getting this thing to the next level. I'm flying down to Miami next week, EB, to look for hotels and party spots for our fans. As you know, I have a tradition of doing all that and getting things ready. Tell me why we're going to get there 4 weeks from now.
Well, the thing that we know is that there's humbleness within the organization. And there also is a know-how, know what to do and when to do the things that will help prepare for the next opponent. And also what's going to help within the organization, within the team, help them prepare to be able to get them ready for the next episode, for the next game. The whoever comes in there obviously going to be at a high level. But understanding, and when they look within themselves and know themselves, because this is a time right now that they can kind of reflect real quickly, reflect on what they have, what they've dealt with, and also look at the opponent. So those knowing, having been at one winning way and winning the whole thing already, having gone through that process. They know how to do it, how to get back there. So I think that's one of the things that they're one up on some of the people that are in the chase.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, appreciate your time as always. I know you're doing great work. Tell me about your holidays, man. I know you're out doing stuff for veterans, right? And you've never left your dogs. I saw Ozzy getting some love from some old Browns up in the press box right before Christmas, and coming home. You're one of those guys as well.
Always. I got my Healing Dogs nonprofit, which as a matter of fact, we came down and did a little something with what are the vet's name? I can't think of the vet's name right now. But we came down and did an event with a homeless vet place, MC Vet.
Okay.
We came down and did an MC Vet. Also visited hospitals. We visited the VA hospitals in D.C. and in Baltimore. So those are the types of things that keeps me healing, because I deal with some of the concussion issues. And also working on continually healing from that. Because, I played 14 years, I banged as fullback, banged at running back, pass blocked hard. Anyway, so all of that helps me to heal. When I actually help other people, it assists me in my process. So, and we work with juveniles, and we work also, I go out and push my book some too.
Good for
I go out
man.
and talk to people about, my book is called Everybody Fumbles. Go out and get it. It's not just about the Browns experience. It's about the Redskins, and it's also about the Ravens experience, and also how to learn, how to grow, and then also how to teach.
All right, man. Well, you won championships, and you knocked on the door of the Hall of Fame.
I'm knocking. I'm knocking, man. It's like it's a rubber door for me right now. It keeps bouncing me back. So,
you and Art too, by the way. I got Art's picture behind me as well. Hey, man. Happy holidays, you. Happy New Year to you. And I have a feeling that if the Ravens get to this, I'm surrounded with my purple floodlights that I bought back in 2006. There'll be a lot of Ravens alums gathering down in Miami. I mean, we've created quite a thing here over the last 23 years, haven't we, EB?
It's special. It's special. There's nothing like it. As a matter of fact, when we came back for the Ring of Honor thing for Coach Billick, been around those guys and seeing some of those young guys and having them come up to me and tell me how I affected their lives when I was there as player development and coaching as well. I mean, it's a special thing that's around there. Especially, I mean, now you got some Hall of Famers, Jo, Ed Reed, Ray. I mean, when you're around those guys, man, it's a different type of air, and it really feels good to be around the purple and black.
EB, this is where I give a cheap shot to the Redskins and the Redskin and you and the Browns and say, look, come home to the Ravens. This is where victory is this year, all right? You could be a Raven this year, all right?
All right. Sounds good, baby.
You got it. Earnest Byner, Ring of Honor, always a Raven, and checking in from down in Tennessee. You can find me out in the bay at Toyota.com Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device. I am surrounded by purple floodlights on my YouTube WNSTV channel as well as our Facebook channel. These things get a little warm. It feels nice in here, actually. It feels like, I don't leave my cat on my lap because this thing's warming me up, but hope I don't catch fire. I'm sure these were not American-made, unfortunately. Nasty at WNST.net finds me the best way. We got Baltimore Positive happening. If you want to go to Miami, throw me an email, nasty at WNST.net. Hundreds of people already on the interest in the waiting list for our trips to South Florida. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore. Check it in with the legends of the Baltimore Ravens all week long as we get ready for a bye and a Festivus for the rest of us. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.